Welcome to a journey back in time, to an epoch where survival was the only agenda, the Paleolithic era. Picture a world where humans were wanderers, nomads in the truest sense. They moved in small groups, tracing the footprints of herds, the whispers of seasons, the ebb and flow of resources. They were hunter-gatherers, their lives intertwined with the rhythm of nature, their survival hinging on the bounty of their environment. The landscape was their home, their pantry, their playground, and their battleground. They hunted, fished, scavenged, and foraged, their diet as diverse as the ecosystems they traversed. They followed the migratory patterns of animals, the blooming of edible plants, the availability of water. Their world was one of constant movement, of adaptation, of evolution. Life was not easy in the Paleolithic era. Every day was a test of their resilience, their ingenuity, their strength. They faced the raw power of nature, the fury of storms, the bite of winter, the relentless heat of summer, the unpredictability of diseases. And yet, they thrived, learning, adapting, evolving. They learned to craft tools from stone, bone, and wood, to harness fire, to create art that told their stories. Their societies were simple, their relationships governed by the necessity of survival. Cooperation was key, for in unity lay strength, safety, success. There was no room for hierarchy, for power struggles, for wealth accumulation. Survival was a collective effort, a shared goal, but beneath this seemingly harsh reality, the seeds of progress were quietly sprouting. Humans were not merely surviving, they were observing, learning, innovating. They were laying the groundwork for a revolution, a transformation so profound that it would forever alter the course of human history. This life, as harsh as it seems, was about to undergo a radical transformation. The stage was set for the dawn of a new era, an era that would see humans shift from being passive players in the theater of nature to becoming active directors of their own destiny. The Neolithic era was on the horizon, poised to change everything we know about human society and culture. As the Earth's climate began to change, so did the lives of our ancestors. With the end of the last ice age, the world started to warm up. This climate shift ushered in a new era, the Neolithic era, also known as the New Stone Age, which marked a radical transition in human history. So what spurred this transformation? One significant factor was the shift in the climate. As the Earth warmed, environments became more predictable, and certain areas saw an increase in plant and animal life. This abundance made it possible for our ancestors to settle in one place, a stark contrast to their nomadic lifestyle of the Paleolithic era. But settling down wasn't enough. The real game changer was the advent of agriculture. Imagine for a moment being able to grow your food instead of hunting for it. This was a revolutionary concept, one that fundamentally altered the way our ancestors lived. No longer were they at the mercy of what they could hunt or gather. Now they could cultivate crops and rear animals, effectively creating their own food sources. But the question that puzzles many historians and anthropologists today is, why did humans start farming? Was it a conscious decision or a gradual process born out of necessity? Various theories suggest that population pressure, a desire for a stable food supply, or even a random discovery, might have led to the birth of agriculture. Regardless of the reason, the advent of farming marked a significant turning point. It required patience, foresight, and an understanding of the seasons. It was a slow and arduous process, but over time, our ancestors became skilled farmers. They learned to domesticate plants like wheat, barley, and peas, and animals like goats, sheep, and pigs. This shift from a nomadic lifestyle to a settled agricultural one was not just about survival. It was about control over their food, their environment, and ultimately, their destiny. This was the first step towards a new way of life, a step towards civilization. As we'll see in the next scenes, this fundamental shift would set the stage for some of the most significant advancements in human history. The dawn of the Neolithic era was indeed the dawn of a new age, an age where humanity began to shape the world around them. With the onset of the Neolithic era, innovation took center stage. As humans began to shift from a nomadic lifestyle to a settled one, they developed new tools and techniques to make life easier. Remember, our ancestors were not just surviving, they were adapting, learning, and growing. They were inventing. The advent of farming brought about the need for specialized tools. Stone tools, once used primarily for hunting, were refined and reimagined. They became sickles, hoes, and eventually plows, all designed to till the earth and cultivate crops more efficiently. But it wasn't just about tools. Our ancestors also developed sophisticated techniques for farming. They learned crop rotation to maintain soil fertility and irrigation to ensure a consistent water supply. These developments marked a significant leap forward in human capability, transforming the way we interacted with the world around us. Alongside these agricultural advancements, another crucial development was taking place: the domestication of plants and animals. Humans began to understand and manipulate the growth and reproduction of certain plant species, leading to the rise of staple crops like wheat, barley, and rice. They also began to tame and breed animals, providing a reliable source of food, labor, and materials. The domestication of plants and animals was no small feat. It required observation, understanding, and patience. It demonstrated a deepening relationship between humans and nature, one of symbiosis rather than mere survival. These advancements, the tools, techniques, and domestication, played a pivotal role in our evolution. They shaped our relationship with the land, with each other, and with the natural world. They transformed us from passive participants to active shapers of our environment. These advancements were catalysts for change, paving the way for societal evolution. As we moved from a life of constant movement to one of permanence, we began to build societies, cultures, and civilizations. And all of this was made possible by the technological and agricultural advancements of the Neolithic era. The ripple effects of these technological advancements were immense. With the advent of agriculture, humans no longer needed to roam in search of food. They began to settle down, creating the first permanent settlements. Imagine, for the first time in history, waking up to the same view every morning, surrounded by the same familiar faces. It was a radical shift from the nomadic lifestyle our ancestors had known for millennia. These settlements were more than just a collection of huts. They were the birthplaces of societal structure. As humans settled, they began to form complex social hierarchies. Leaders emerged, tasks were delegated, and societies began to function like well-oiled machines. Family dynamics also evolved. Families became units of production, working together to cultivate crops and rear livestock. This was a stark contrast from the Paleolithic era, where individual survival was paramount. And let's not forget the shift in gender roles. In the Paleolithic era, men were primarily hunters, while women were gatherers. But with the advent of agriculture, the gender roles became less defined. Both men and women participated in farming, blurring the lines between their roles. But perhaps the most significant impact of these settlements was the birth of culture. With more stable living conditions, humans had the time and space to create art, music, and engage in spiritual practices. These cultural elements brought people together, fostering a sense of community and shared identity. The Neolithic era wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about community and culture. The onset of agriculture had far-reaching impacts beyond just food production. With the ability to grow crops, early humans could now produce more food than they needed for survival. This surplus allowed some people to focus on tasks other than food gathering, leading to the development of specialized roles and essentially, the birth of trade. Simultaneously, managing these resources became crucial. Humans began to understand seasons, crop rotation, and the importance of water and soil conservation, marking the start of environmental management. However, this shift wasn't without its drawbacks. Clearing lands for farming led to deforestation, while overgrazing by domesticated animals caused soil erosion. These environmental changes, unintended consequences of the Neolithic transformation, were the first signs of human-induced environmental impact. So, while the Neolithic era brought economic prosperity and societal structure, it also set the stage for the environmental challenges we face today. The seeds of modern economics were sown during this transformative period. From humble beginnings, complex societies began to take shape. As agriculture flourished and communities settled, our ancestors began to build more than just homes. They formed relationships, crafted laws, and established early forms of governance. The dawn of civilization was not just an era of technological advancement, but a period of social and cultural evolution too. Art, once a luxury afforded only in moments of respite between hunts, became a regular practice, a means of expression and communication. Sculptures, cave paintings, and pottery began to emerge, reflecting the human experience in tangible forms. This was also the time when rituals and religious beliefs started to take root, providing a sense of understanding and order to the world around them. The Neolithic era was characterized by unprecedented growth and development, setting the stage for the world as we know it. And so, our journey from being mere survivors to complex thinkers and creators had truly begun. As we reflect on this transformative era, we realize its profound significance. The Neolithic era was more than a shift in lifestyle, it was the birth of civilization as we know it. Our ancestors' transition from nomadic hunter-gatherers to settled farmers laid the groundwork for societal structures, economic systems, and cultural expressions that continue to shape our world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most transformative periods in human history. Keep exploring with VitaHUB Knowledge.